Good morning, students. This is Tuesday, October 27th, and this is Mr. Smothers. And I'm going to start you off with your warm-up. And the warm-up says, predict how the environment and organisms in this ecosystem will be impacted if a flood were to come to the area. So go ahead and pause it now, and then I will help you answer this in just a few minutes. So write this down in your notebook, and I'll get back with you in a minute. All right, good. So hopefully you took a few minutes there and wrote down some information. In this warm up today, it's just a picture of some horses in a pasture, and how will that impact both the organisms in it and also the ecosystem? Well, the organisms make up part of the ecosystem, right? So an ecosystem is made up, and that's one of your questions from your last test that a lot of students missed. uh, an ecosystem is made up of both abiotic and biotic factors, which are living and non-living things in a particular environment. So the horses could have to be moved or could drown. If it depends on how high the water gets. The horses won't have anything to eat. Um, you could go as far as to say that the earthworms in the area will have to, they'll start coming out of the ground looking for high ground. Also, the ants in the area, if it stays flooded too long, they'll come out of the ground and they'll start floating on the surface, and they'll kind of cling to each other and kind of form a ball and move around, and hopefully not any of them will drown. Um, Also, the insects in that area will either float on top of the water or move to higher ground or end up drowning. There could be contaminants that come into the area, which will affect everything in it as well. So, anyway, that's your warm up. Let's move on to the next slide. Students will identify the characteristics of floods, droughts, and how it will affect an ecosystem. So that is our learning target for the day. Here is the start of catastrophic events. So I think on Monday we kind of introduced catastrophic events with maybe a who am I thing. I think that's what we were doing on Monday. For our online kids, obviously, that would be you. Flooding and drought. So there's kind of both ends of the spectrum. That's why they're kind of put together. You've got flooding on the left, you got drought on the right. You've got both extremes. So let's dive into this today. So a catastrophic event, basically they define as extreme events such as hurricanes, tornadoes, floods, droughts, earthquakes, volcanoes, and fires are classified based on their intensity and the extent of their impact on the ecosystem. The impacts catastrophic events can have on an ecosystem can be visible for and last for decades. Here's an example of flooding from Hurricane Harvey. I don't know which exact highway this is, but we probably could figure it out. Flooding. So we're in our fill in the blank notes here, and you will have a hard copy. All you'll have to do today will be to answer a basically like an exit ticket, a set of 7 or 8 questions, maybe 10 questions for today, for Tuesday. A blank, a rising body of water that submerges normally dry land. That is kind of the definition of what flooding is. When it occurs, the ground, creeks, streams, rivers can no longer absorb or hold the amount of water that's being produced by rain, by a rain event. The next bullet there, erodes soil, uproots plants and trees, destroys roads, and destroys buildings. Can reshape the area's topography. That means just the kind of the lay of the land. Often floods consist of moving water, and it can be hard to tell how fast the water is moving. And this kind of leads into this next statement here. Most flood-related deaths are caused by cars going through moving water. Don't drown, turn around, I think is a motto. And it's a very good motto for the Houston area because most of the people that died were people that were in their cars that were swept away. It takes 18 inches of water, and you can't tell how deep something is. So maybe it looks like it's only a few inches, but the topography, the land could dip down, the road could dip down, and it could go into 18 inches of water, and the water pushes the car, and the person inside of it could drown. Flooding characteristics: damaged property, destruction of crops, loss of livestock. There's some livestock down there at the very bottom right here. There's the crops as well. And deterioration of health conditions due to waterborne diseases. So there could be diseases in the water that makes people sick. The septic systems could overflow, and also there's some trash there too. Caused by nature, and then caused by humans here. We've got heavy rain due to tropical storms and hurricanes, and also tsunamis. We don't see tsunamis, but we definitely see our share of hurricanes or tropical storms. Also by humans, and this happens in our area, Montgomery County, Chambers County, any of the counties that have dams from Lake Livingston and Lake Conroe. Here's a video to watch. Again, I'm not going to watch the video with you, let you watch it on your own there. Now we're moving on to drought. So we just covered flooding, and now we're on kind of the other end of the spectrum with droughts. Here's some information that's not going to be in the notes, but I just kept it in here, and I'll let you just look it over. But here's the rest of our notes, and they're kind of short for the drought part. Probably the biggest thing that I can say about droughts is, I don't know where this picture actually came from, but I do know that not too terribly long ago, not too many years ago, we had a severe drought, and we had not just one forest fire, we had several forest fires that burned for, I want to say, over a week. I'm going to say, I may be wrong. It seemed like forever, and I could actually see it from my house. So it can happen anywhere. Lack or severe decrease of rainfall in an area, and not just in deserts. It could be in, like in the Magnolia area. It could be in California. The fires are due to the fact that everything's really, really dry. Persistent high pressure can cause droughts in an area, and it can lead to wildfires, which I just kind of went over a second ago. Here's some pictures of different drought situations there. And it's kind of unfortunate, but this tree that's probably, I don't know, a couple of 100 years old is going to rot because all the leaves are off of it, and it's dead because of drought. Another video. Also, we threw this in about the Dust Bowl. We talked about the Dust Bowl a lot more. All it takes is topsoil to blow away the stuff that blows away. When they call it dust, it's really not the dust. It's really the matter that actually is what's so fertile in soil, the organic material that makes the nutrients, everything that's in the soil. You got soil's made up of a lot of different things. It's made up of moisture. It's made up of plant and animal material. That's the stuff that has died, so it's organic, right? And it is biotic, and it is what will basically rot or decompose, and those nutrients are used by plants. And when it gets really dry, all the moisture is gone out of it, it will blow away because it's real light and weight. So it blows away, and that's the good stuff that is going to cause things to grow. Okay, so here's our closing task for the day. How would a flood impact our community, and how would a drought affected as well. So anyway, there's your closing task there. Hopefully it's kind of a short lesson, I guess. If you have any questions about today's lesson, make sure that you complete the activity. I could go in here real fast and look it up with the modules real fast, and we'll see what it looks like. So, and this is not totally done yet, but we have an exit ticket, basically, exit ticket quiz. So there's the presentation, which we're on now. The notes are all there for you, so you don't have to do anything, but just look them over and keep them. I would make a copy of them in your folder, or print them out and put them in a binder of some kind. Use them for this next test to study for. Exit ticket quiz is what you're going to do, and that's going to be your kind of your quick assignment for the day. More than likely, I'll give you another chance to take it. So this will be one of, I want to say, 3 or 4 grades for you. You have one exit ticket. You have one other assignment. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. And then this other exit ticket. Maybe it was a review. That's what it was. And then another exit ticket that are going to be in the grade book. And of course, your test. If you have not taken your test, it is super important that you get that test completed as soon as possible. Thanks for listening. And if, yeah, like I said, if you have any questions, let us know.